Hello and welcome back to the channel. I must apologize for not having uploaded any videos in the last 6 or so months. A lot has happened in that time, and I really had no time for anything. It was crazy how busy I was. Good old opportunity cost, right? But I owe you an explanation, so I will give you one before I get into today's story. I'd been part of last year's Drawtober challenge, as my previous videos would show. But I never got to finish it, as with my day job, which is it's a family business. We ended up growing a bit and we had to move locations. Mid-October we started preparing for this, and so it became a very stressful time, and I was very busy. My energy was being exhausted every day at my day job. I was still producing my main comic series, Harbinger, which was taking up pretty much all of my evening time. And then the holidays struck, and I was kind of balancing between the day job, reorganizing everything, and, taking care of everything I have to take care of in my personal life. I started planning, multiple videos. I think it was around January, I was notified, or I forget how I got notified. I think it was a post or something I saw about the Webtoon Legends comic book contest, and I was like, I've been in one of those before. Let me see what the criteria is like. I looked into it and I was like, okay, well, I still want to keep up with my main series. I owe that to my readers, and so I said, you know what, I'm gonna do an anthology series. I'll do in the same world, and I'll touch base on it. I decided which character I was gonna do, and I stuck with one of my favorite characters, with Jin. That is what I ended up getting into, and so now I'm producing 2 series simultaneously for this contest at this time, and I was like, well, I really don't have a lot of time to make any videos. I can record my work, but editing and writing and putting these story times together, a bit tricky. So let's get into the video. First, what are we drawing in the back here? This is a page from my entry to the contest, this series, Jin. The story follows a dark elf witch who is very different from her people. We all know dark elves, they're a bit crazy, but she's managed to climb to a politically significant position in her society, and many of her people dislike her and want her gone, and a bunch of things happen in this story that turns her life kind of on its head, and she struggles to kind of just keep everything together and to keep her head above the proverbial political soup that her life has become. I will leave a link in the description for anyone who's interested in checking that out. If you do, and you enjoy it, please leave it a like or a comment. It helps the series in the contest tremendously. So today I wanted to talk about one of the greatest matches I had ever played in a game. So I had recently picked up Sea of Thieves again with my friend. We used to play this game back in 2019, 2020. We used to play this a whole bunch. And then we put it down, life got in the way, got busy and stuff, and we didn't really have a lot of time. And so we just moved on to other things. We were reminiscing, right? We were talking about these things that we did, the stories and the quests and voyages we went on for fun. We were just talking about all the funny stuff. And one in particular stood out, and I wanted to talk about it here because it was really funny for me. And it was a really, what were the chances? It was crazy. It was a crazy evening. It was a crazy evening. So it might not be significant to anybody who doesn't play the game or doesn't game at all, but you know what? Whatever. The whole part of the story is just entertaining anyway. So even if you don't game or you don't know the game, it'll be probably somewhat entertaining. So do stick around. My buddy Nick and I were playing, doing casual pirate stuff that pirates do, and there was this brig. So a brig is in the game, it's a medium-sized ship that can have 2 to 3 players on it. And I believe we were on a sloop at the time, so there was only the 2 of us. And we came upon these guys, and we were minding our own business, but they decided to attack us. And so we were not, by any measure bad at this game, so we were holding our own. In fact, we were kind of winning. In fact, we were about to win the fight. From long range, we had knocked down their mast and stuff, and gave them a bunch of holes, and we were we didn't even get into close combat with these guys yet, right? It was just at range, we were kicking their butt, and then all of a sudden the Kraken shows up right below us, and we're like, oh crap. I think we're screwed now. Now we're trying to defend ourselves against this Kraken and the enemy ship. And it's this is just a double whammy. It's so hard to do with 2 people, and we just got absolutely totaled in that fight. And I was like, okay, well, you win some, you lose some, right? It's fine, whatever. But these guys, they were special. So add insult to injury, they're yelling in their megaphones there. They can hear like, you guys suck, you're not that good, yeah, woo, and stuff like that, right? They were like really arrogant and gloaty. And I was like, wow, okay, well, whatever. Yeah, it's a game. Turn the other cheek. Some players just suck to play with, and I guess these are some of them. We'll just respawn and do some other stuff. So Nick definitely wasn't thrilled about this either, and he's a very calm, collected man. He's one of the calmest people I know. Nick is, he's chill, all right? And I couldn't see him because we're on Discord, but like I could tell he was mad. He was not a happy camper with that. But he didn't say anything. He's like, whatever, let's just move on. Cool. So we spawn again, we change up the ship's colors, we redecorate the ship. We just wanted to just do something else. I think it was we were gonna go gold hoarders or something. Confirmed it, and then we just left. And we noticed that this brig, there's a brig on our tail. And we're like, that can't possibly be the same guys, could it? And I get out the spyglass, I look, and I'm like, wow, it's the same guys. I come in to pick a fight with another ship. Okay, let's get ready to fight. And we're like, well, we're not really. And back in the days here, we couldn't buy supplies, so we had barely anything at the start. And we're like, well, let's just make this work. They come up on us. They're not attacking us. And we're like, why aren't they shooting at us? They're hailing us to try and talk to us. And we're like, okay, let's just see what they want. And Nick's gonna do the negotiating. Normally I'm really good at negotiating, but Nick is better. So I said, Nick, you do what you got to do. So we pull up with them. They're like, hey, there's this event going on. You know, we have to exchange treasure chests with another ship and whatever, to get the thing. And we want to know if you guys did it. And they start gloating about their achievements for the day. You know, we're really good. We've been sinking ships all day. These last guys we did, you know, they weren't that good, but they peppered us a little, and then we messed them up real good, and then we killed a kraken, and we came over here, and then we're like, you know what, let's do the quest now. Well, Nick did his talking, came back. He was not happy. he was like, we're killing them. I'm like, what? We're doing what now? He's like, we're taking them down. So like, did they not? I asked him, I'm like, yo, Nick, did they not realize like that we're the guys they just sunk? And he's like, I don't think they ever saw our names. Like, we never got close, so they don't know it's us, and we just changed the color of our ship. I was like, wow, they think we're just some random guys. They have no idea that it was us they were rude to. It's like, okay, let's do this. Like, but it's gotta be in bed by like 10. He's like, no, we're doing this. I'm like, you know what, I'm committed. I'm with you, brother. Let's go. We begin the process of like, okay, we gotta get some chests. So we do a quest, we get some chests, get them on our boat, and we know where they are. We raised the friendship flag with each other. We're allies now, so we can all see each other on the map. I think we can communicate. I think that's part of it. The plan was originally to meet at this port called Golden Sands, which is now Port Merrick or something, whatever it is. And so we get the chests and we go, okay, we're gonna get there early. We're gonna find as many kegs as we can. We stopped at a couple of forts and we got these powder kegs. We're gonna set up traps all over the island. We're gonna get them to come in and we're gonna blow these guys up and we're gonna take their stuff. It wasn't good enough. We set everything up on the island and we're like, nah, we could do better. We pack everything up and we start heading towards, I forget why, but like we started, I think there was a communication between them. Like we went to Reaper's hideout, which is the PvP home base, basically, the faction for PvP. Like, okay, they're coming here now. We see them heading towards us. We're like, all right, they're coming to do the exchange. So we're gonna park this stuff on the dock, meet them on the dock. You'll do the quote-unquote exchange. So Nick drops me off on the other side of the island with a keg, and I'm swimming, and I'm just making sure I get to where I need to be along the coast as they're coming in. And they pull up and they park. And they come ashore with their rowboat or whatever. And they have their, there's two of them and there's one of them on the boat and on the ship. And I swim underneath their brig with this keg. And I'm waiting for Nick. We're on Discord. He can talk to them in game, but he can only hear me through the Discord, right? So they can't hear me. I'm waiting for the signal. And Nick's like, hey, they're on the deck. Let's go. And I blew myself up. I underestimated the distance between me and the ship. But I put holes in their ship. I killed the guy somehow on the boat. He died. I died. And eventually I respawned. Nick, He's incredible at this game. He slaughtered the guys on the pier. He just took them out. Now they're down completely. I come back at the same time as the one guy, but now I'm on my boat. My boat is set up to blow them away with the cannons. And so I just hammer them. And we hammer them. And then Nick goes and boards them. As I'm hammering them, finishes them off on their own ship before the guys respawn. Then the two guys respawn. We kill them. The ship sinks. And this is the moment. Like, now we get our payback. They're going to respawn and rush right here. So Nick and I run inside the Reaper's hideout. We raise the emissary flag to become Reapers, so we get maximum bonuses. All of their loot spawns in the water, and we harpoon all their loot, and we just take it in, everything, and we start selling all of their stuff. These guys, I don't know why they didn't sell anything they had done. They clearly had been sinking ships all day, because they had a lot of stuff. I think they even had one of our boxes there still. We didn't have much on us at the time when we sank, so they didn't get much from us. But we got it back. And so we're selling all their stuff. It's going. And we get to pretty much the last couple of crates. Forgot to mention this. We brought a very valuable couple of chests, right? Captain's chests at the time or something. They were like golden and whatever. And we put them down on the pier for the exchange. They brought us the cheapest chests you could possibly exchange. So it's kind of insulting. So what we did was we left them their cheap chests on the pier, and we sold everything else, including their flag. Then we see them coming on the horizon. We're like, that's them, they're coming back. And we lower our flag, and we stood on the pier, and we waited for them to get close, and then we logged off. It felt so glorious. It was like sweet deliverance of justice. It was 1 a.m. by this point, by the way. We had spent 3 hours setting this whole thing up to get payback on some toxic gamers. It just felt so good because these guys were so damn arrogant, and it was like, yes, perfection. Anyway, that's all I got for today's video. That was the payback story. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Consider leaving it a like or subscribe if you did enjoy it and you want to see more of these in the future. Again, if you're interested in checking out the comic series I'm working on, there will be a link in the description. Bye for now.